Byron did his first cube, and his first cube was pretty good. His first cube was pretty darn good relative to most. Okay, not bad for the first cube. All right, this was his second cube. This was done a couple weeks later.
What?
Okay, so this is what I'm looking for over the next couple of weeks, is that kind of change in your craftsmanship. All right?
Damn it, Byron.
Yeah. Okay, so now when you guys look at this kind of craftsmanship, can you see? You know, it's like it's night and day. Now, I like to show Byron's first because that's what I'm looking for, craftsmanship-wise. Now, the next thing that I want to show you is I want to show you Annie, because Annie had this funny experience where Annie did her first cube, and it looked like this. And this is actually very normal. This is kind of the sort of thing that I see. Yeah, you know Annie. Annie's awesome. But so this is where Annie was, and she spent the first half of the semester there. The first half of the semester, every week, she'd have kind of the same problems. And I would tell her, okay, Annie, you got to slow down. You know, you're trying to render too quick. Just be more patient, slow down, use the pencil grades. You know, do all the stuff I'm telling you right now. Okay, I was telling her that for the first half of the semester. So Annie did her specimen project, and her specimen project is one you guys will be doing where it's a surreal rendering assignment. You take two things that don't belong together and you mash them together. Things like
the Triumph motorcycle and then the Scorpion?
Yeah, exactly. Or like one person did a cactus gerbil. You know, and it's like you go, oh, you know, but you render it so it looks like it really exists. All right, and you use all these skills. Well, she brought in her specimen project, which was a stingray and a skunk. You know, so it's like a striped stingray with a furry tail. And she knocked it out of the park. And I said, Annie, this is amazing. How'd you do it? And she goes, I finally did all the things you've been telling me to do all semester. You know, she slowed down. She did all these things. And the craftsmanship goes like that as soon as you do that. Okay, so this is her specimen. So she went from that. Look at the craftsmanship difference. That's what doing it correctly does. You know, using the pencil grades, going slow, boring yourself to death with tedium, you know, sharpening the pencil, all those kinds of things. So that's what happens. All right? So I know this will not work, but try to follow the instructions as carefully as you can. Try to go slow. Try to work your way through the grades. Allow plenty of time because it will take much longer than you think. Because look at this, you guys. This is, I believe, 6 by 9, I think. So 6 by 9 is 54 square inches. And it's 54 square inches done like that. It takes forever. There's a reason these cubes are only 4 by 5, because I didn't want them to be 5 by 6. Because that adds, you know, it adds a third more work, you know, just to cover the surface. It's a pain in the ass. But again, you'll learn a lot about light and shade, you know, and rendering. So, now, in terms of your next project, no. Now I will show you how you can. I'll show some technical things. This is an erasing shield. So in the early stages, if you have something that isn't quite right, if you want to type, I can't. This isn't going to be a good example. Okay, let me do something just really quickly. After I just told you not to do this. Now, let's say you've got something like that and you made a little bit of a mistake and you have to fix it. What you can do is you can very carefully lay the erasing shield down on the edge. Or, you know, like this, or however you need it. Let me do it like this. Now, one of the things you need to be careful of is graphite renderings are responsive to the surface of the board. So that's why you don't want to use a lot of pressure. If you use a lot of pressure, you'll grind down the texture, and that'll make it look more shiny, and it will cause things to change on the paper. So you want to have a light pressure. If you erase like this, you want to be gentle. You want to have a little bit of a gentleness about it because you don't want to be abrading the paper. You just want to be lifting the graphite. So anyway, so take a look at the edge you get. It's not a bad edge. Let me do it off the darker side, or through the darker side. So see, you can get nice sharp edges, but ideally you want to fix those kinds of things when you're at the 6H stage. You want your edges to be about right at the 6H stage, and then you want to elaborate on them and make them more contrasting. So do use the erasing shield. Do you have a sharp pencil, that kind of stuff. Now let's see, other stuff I want to talk about. Okay, let me...